So, one of the most important experiences I've had being a sober person is working the 12 steps of the AA program in the LA County jails. I've done the steps in meetings, I've done the steps on my own, I've led other people through the steps, and I never had worked the steps with someone else who was incarcerated before. And I really didn't know what to expect because, when you're working the steps and with people out in the real world, you see them a lot more. They can call you at any time. You can call them. You can meet for coffee. You can meet at the meeting. There's this flexibility. You can meet at the beach. You can change location. You can adapt for what the person needs. But when someone's incarcerated, you go there and they're there. That's their life, this one place and space. And it's an uncertain place. It can be a hostile place. It can be a boring place. It's a challenging environment. And you also don't know when you show up to the jails if they're going to even be there. Maybe they've moved. Maybe they're on an appointment. Maybe they're in court. So you can't hold the person to this sort of standard of, hey, we're going to meet at 5:30 at the coffee shop, be there or be square kind of thing. You have to be flexible because they may not be able to be there. Also, it puts you in a very interesting place as a sponsor because I'm not incarcerated. I haven't been there. I'm an alcoholic like you. I'm an addict like you. But I haven't been where you've been. So I know when I first was working the steps with this gal, I felt a little imposter syndrome. I felt like, wow, who am I to work the steps with her because I don't know her experience. But what was so miraculous is the steps work. If you trust them, if you let them do the work they're meant to do. So what I would say is that working the steps of AA in the jails is an incredible experience for the sponsor, learning where my true higher power is. I choose to call my high power God. Some alcoholics and addicts don't call their higher power God. It's part of the beauty of AA. You can call it whatever you want. But I found that it strengthened my relationship with my sobriety. It strengthened my relationship with my higher power. It strengthened my relationship with the steps because I was watching someone work the steps who absolutely needed to do this. And that's not to say there are not addicts and alcoholics on the outside that need to do this too. They do. And they clutch to this program as only the dying can. But with a person incarcerated, there's so many other challenges. And the fact that someone can commit themselves to this program and do this program, and I sit there and I watch that light go on, I watch their eyes brighten, I watch them take responsibility for what they've done, I watch them realize what was not in their power, what was not their responsibility. I think of an alcoholic or an addict when we're in our disease. It's like there's this ball that's tangled up. All the stuff that's happened in our life is this gnarled ball. It's all tangled up. And the steps help you open it so you can see the mess that it is. And you can see which thread belongs there, which string belongs there. Where did this piece come from? Oh my gosh, that's from my childhood. It allows you to see more clearly. But the jail is not a place where anyone wants anyone to see clearly. People are told, keep your head down, do what you're told, and maybe you'll survive this place. But AA is not about that. The 12 steps are not about that. 12 steps are about figuring out who you really are and your relationship not only to your environment, but to the people in your life, the people who were in your life, and owning up what you've done, what you are responsible for. And how do you do that in a place where almost every interaction you have is potentially hostile? That's impressive. That's powerful. And I think working the steps in jail has taught me more about myself, my own fears, my own judgments, my own biases, but it has taught me the capacity of the human heart. No one is so far gone they can't be redeemed, should be redeemed. No one has done something so horrible that that's who they are. I really thought I was walking into the jails judgment-free, but I did have judgment. And working these 12 steps with this woman, I was judging her. I was. And now that we've gone through this process, she should be judging me. She should be judging me. I was blown away by the clarity of vision, the depth of pain, the height of joy, the capacity to love, the ability, the courage to accept what I've done and to still stand there. I think people have this idea that people who are incarcerated don't feel guilty for their crimes. They do. Some of them, it's so bad they can't acknowledge it because they don't have what they need to stand up and acknowledge what they've done. AA and the 12 steps and another human being that's looking you in the eye and not running away from you and not judging you and not shaming you, that gives people the courage to stand up and say, yeah, I did that. That was me. Something we say in AA is, we're not bad people trying to get good. We're sick people trying to get well. And I really just wish everyone in the world could step into a jail and meet someone who's been convicted of a crime or is awaiting trial. Look them in the eye and know what it's like to experience the phrase, there but for the grace of God go I. We've all done horrible things. And maybe we haven't done something as horrible as what some of these people have indeed done. But I think until you look someone in the eye and see their sorrow, their guilt, their shame, who are you to stand in judgment? And I have found this program out in the real world. It does miraculous things. But in one of the worst places in the world, a jail, I think that makes the miracle that much greater. And I count myself lucky and blessed and gracious and in awe that I get to be a participant in that miracle. It's incredible. And I wish everyone would do it. I hope everyone would do it. Just walk in that place and see these people and see what they're capable of. And for me, in my personal experience, nothing does that so well as the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous.